Manchester United 1, Brighton 2. This is your full-time match reaction from Old Trafford from the Emirates FA Cup third round this evening on this Sunday night, where all I'm going to say is, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Manchester United season is now officially over. Our only rescue plan, our only avenue to get European football next season is over. Manchester United season is a complete write-off. We have been knocked out of the FA Cup again. At the third round stage, Manchester United are out of the FA Cup. The season's a write-off. The season is finished. Where do we go from here? I don't even know where we go from here. What is the plan now? What's the rescue mission? What's the plan? What is the plan now? And Oshi's already said, I give up on Manchester United. I think, to be honest with you, mate, we're already giving up. I think the season has crashed and burned right in front of our very own eyes tonight. Going out at this stage in the third round is nothing more than a complete and utter embarrassment from this football club. To put Darren Fletcher in charge for today's game, again, is nothing more than a joke. They've had 2 weeks to decide who to give the interim manager's job to. They're trying to wait on Ollie. They're trying to wait on Carrick, but still can't come up with a decision. But to put Darren Fletcher in charge for an FA Cup game, which is basically make or break for our season, it's nothing more than embarrassing. I feel sorry for Darren Fletcher. I feel sorry for the fans. I feel sorry for supporters. And basically, we haven't got anything left to fight for. We're not winning any trophies. We're not going to win any silverware this season. And European football, all I'm going to say is completely and utterly forget about it. Forget European football next season. We ain't gonna be in Europe. We're gonna have to face the facts. We're gonna have to face the reality. We don't deserve to be in Europe the way we play and the way we perform. We don't turn up. We don't play as a team. A lot of those players showed a lack of ambition, a lack of fight again. A lot of those players who don't deserve to be really given a chance are still given an opportunity to prove themselves. Fletcher picked the team. Fletcher picked the squad. But Darren Fletcher should not be in this position. Darren Fletcher should not be anywhere near an interim manager's job who only coaches our under-18s. No disrespect. If we look at the standard of some of those under-18 teams that Man United play, no disrespect, a lot of them are a load of shit. So I'm not really surprised our under-18s do as well as what they're doing. But let's be honest, we're at the FA Cup. There's no European football again. 2 seasons in a row, we're potentially facing no European football. That is nothing more than an embarrassment for this football club. And I think you can do protests. You can do what you want. Protests are going to solve nothing. Protests will do nothing in terms of removing these clowns. It will do nothing in terms of removing these muppets out of this football club. You can do protests, but that's going to solve nothing. The Glazers aren't going anywhere. Sir Jim isn't going anywhere. Barada won't go anywhere. Wilcox won't go anywhere. You can do what you like as a fan base and as a set of supporters, but in the end, we're basically facing a nightmare season now because we've got nothing left to fight for. If I was Manchester United, I'd be on the phone to the Premier League tonight. Just give Arsenal the 3 points. Just give Man City the 3 points because they're going to have an absolute field day facing us in the next 2 weeks. They're going to have an absolute field day. But at the end of the day, let's face it, we are shit. We are really, really crap. And the Cola Cake Man says, play the reserve rest season, nothing to play for. Holding no shame and lost to a better team now. All focus on the league and potential top half finish. In Glazers we trust, says Nathan. Liam Heffelder said, players looking around and realising that there's no one left to blame apart from themselves. Well, that result has brightened up my day. See what he did there, very good. We need to start employing emptying the stadium protests, and why do we put up with it? Dalot is maybe the worst player in history. I mean, this game could have been a lot different, couldn't it? If Dalot would have taken those 2 early chances inside 3 minutes, I mean, look at the 2 opportunities Dalot had on goal. Look at the 2 opportunities Dalot had on goal, and he took neither of them. Both of them were easy to put into the back of the Brighton net, and Dalot doesn't take anyone. If anyone could have been on the end of the ball, I was really, really hoping it wasn't going to be Dalot. I was really, really hoping it wasn't going to be Dalot. And the chances he had were quite easy to finish. were quite easy to put into the back of the Brighton net, and Dalot can't even do that. And it just shows the standard of a player that Dalot is. Like, how many bad games has Dalot had in a United shirt? How many bad results has Dalot been a part of? How many bad performances has Dalot put in a Man United shirt? When you get two big opportunities like that inside 3 minutes, you must put them away. And Dalot doesn't do neither. So this game could have been a lot different if Dalot puts those chances in. And it's massively, massively embarrassing. If anyone we wanted on the end of the ball, I wouldn't have wanted it to be Dalot, because I've seen Dalot time and time again how bad of a player he actually is. Like, how bad of a player Dalot is. It's time and time again he puts in the same bad performance after bad performance after bad performance. How many more chances is Diego Dalot going to get at this football club? How many more chances is this guy going to get in a United shirt? How can you blame a defender? We've got strikers who can't put the ball in the net. Yeah, is that why Sesko scored? Is that why Sesko actually contributed to a goal today? Is that why Sesko actually put the ball in the net? Those two chances Dalot had were quite easy to put in. Like, I probably would have scored both of those chances myself, and I don't even play for the club. But I would have at least made sure both of those chances would have ended up in the back of the net. It's not rocket science. You know, if Dalot would have taken those chances, we would have been 2-0 up inside 3 minutes. That game would have been different. We probably would have had the game won. But yet again, those players don't take their chances. We've got a midfield that looked completely and utterly invisible again. I mean, Bruno Fernandes, what the fuck did he do all game? What did he do all game? Let's be honest, as a captain and as a leader of this football club, what did Bruno Fernandes offer going forward today? He looked like a completely washed out player. He looked like a player that's been rushed back from injury. He looks like a player who can't be bothered to turn up. And at the end of the day, that ain't fucking good enough. That really, really is not good enough. Ugarte doesn't track his man and basically ball watches and lets Danny Welbeck have a free shot on goal. And at the end of the day, that again is another problem. That midfield is completely pants. The midfield is completely fucking pants. And Ugarte basically just watches Danny Welbeck run through on goal and smashes it top bins. Basically ball watching again. That was the midfield that Darren Fletcher decided to go with. What on earth is Ugarte still doing here? There was plans to get rid of this guy at the end of this transfer window, and yet Ugarte still gets given a chance. Ugarte still gets given an opportunity. But yet he ball watches and lets Danny Welbeck have a free run on goal and basically lets him shoot. It's massively, massively embarrassing. Just proves Amorim was never the issue. The only good thing is that Maguire, Ahmad and Mbeumo. I don't care if Ahmad's not here. I don't care if Mbeumo's not here. I don't care. It's massively embarrassing to go out at this stage of the FA Cup. This was our rescue mission. This was our rescue plan. This was our only avenue into Europe, and we're out of it. We are facing a second season in a row without any European football. Do you know how bad that makes us look? Do you know how bad that makes Manchester United look like? It's embarrassing for the fans. It's embarrassing for the supporters. And to go out to a Brighton team that has not won in 8 games, how embarrassing must that feel for a football club? How embarrassing must that be? And then look at the amount of changes Brighton had in their team. Look at the amount of changes Brighton made for that United game. They basically put their second team out. They basically left half their first team on the fucking bench. And Brighton still came to Old Trafford and fucking beat us. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Like, it's really embarrassing. Season is over now. We have City and Arsenal next 2 games, which we lose could put us out of Europe. Exactly. Who will win the Clasico? I really don't give a shit about Barcelona, Real Madrid. Sack the board tonight. I've seen enough. Dalot out, release him. It's not a coincidence United start losing and drawing games when the boys are away. Their second team is better than their first team, no shock. Sack Dalot. Dorgu is used as European football is still achievable. We aren't getting European football. We don't deserve to be in Europe. We're fucking shit. We should have gone and won the FA Cup. We should have taken this seriously. And no disrespect, Darren Fletcher probably put out the strongest team he could have gone with. But yet it's some of the decisions that baffle me from that team selection. You've got Dalot and Mount on the same side of the pitch, and Lacey's been benched. And Lacey was one of our brightest sparks in the Burnley game, and he was benched. Like, you don't have two right-footed players on the same section of the team sheet. You don't have two right-footed players on the same side of the pitch. And I think that's where we went wrong. We didn't really have anyone that could cut inside on the right-hand side of the pitch at Old Trafford and put that ball in the box. And I felt like that was a big problem from minute one. We didn't have anyone who was trying to get that ball into the Brighton box. We didn't really attack the way we should have attacked. Lacey was very, very good against Burnley in that second half, but yet he's been benched for a player like Mason Mount, who's more injury prone than fucking Phil Jones, who did fuck all for nearly how many minutes? Did Mount get 55 or 60 minutes today and did absolutely fuck all on the right? And again, you have to point that at Darren Fletcher. He put Mason Mount on the right side of the pitch today, which makes utterly no sense. And please smash that like button. Please give me a follow on TikTok. It doesn't make any sense. We needed a left footer on the right hand side of that pitch today to get that ball into the Brighton box, and we didn't fucking do it. Lacey was our brightest spark in that Burnley game, and yet we benched him. I think we should have changed that front three dramatically. I think Fletcher should have made a statement and dropped Mount. I don't know why he thought that was a good idea, starting Mount on the right hand side. For me, it doesn't make any sense why Darren Fletcher decided thinking that was the best idea. Is Fletcher the right man? No, he bloody ain't. You've seen the Albion. What is it like to cheer for England's worst team? What do you think of the red card? We'll talk about that red card and the stupidity of what that decision was, because at the end of the day, I know Shea Lacey's young. Like, I know he's a young player. I know he's not had a lot of Premier League minutes. I know he was chucked in on at the deep end again. But his stupidity to throw the ball down in frustration, knowing he's on a yellow card, is really, really stupid. Like, if we had 11 players on that pitch, I still don't think we would have won anyway. I still don't think we would have rescued the situation. But to go and basically throw the ball down, knowing you're on a yellow card and you've got potentially a second yellow coming your way, you don't do that. As a professional, I know he's young, but he has to have aimed criticism at him. Like, he's a good player. He's got plenty of development. But as a young player, you don't go and put your club in that situation for losing the extra player. Because that is where the game went. Soon as we went down to 10 players, that was the game gone. We were never going to rescue it anyway. So no matter what we did today, we were going out the FA Cup. We were going to go out anyway, because both of the Brighton goals are massively, massively avoidable. Like, the second goal is fucking laughable. The first one is even worse, because you've got Martinez clearing the ball off our fucking goal line, but yet his clearance falls straight to the Brighton player inside of our box. And no one's marking that Brighton player in our penalty area. Like, the lack of defending for the first Brighton goal is fucking laughable. Could the United players not see how many Brighton players were in our box? Were they blinded by how many Brighton players were in our area at that moment? You needed to get the ball out. And fair play to Martinez, he got the ball off the line. But it fell straight to a Brighton player, and no one was near that Brighton player in the first place. So basically had a free rebound on goal. There was no going to stop the Brighton first goal. There was no stopping it. So as soon as we went 1-0 down, I felt like the game was gone anyway. We weren't going to rescue it. Man United just proved they're a mid-table team. My brother, these players have a loser mentality. Completely great. Average United, no, I'm not average. It was never Red, says Chopo 02. Game was stopped by the senior players, not a young lad who's not played before. Dalot is just wank. Completely agree. The defence is too open. Bro moaning about elite athletes. Well, yeah, I don't know where you're coming with that comment. It's called "We Speak the Truth," mate. If you don't like it, piss off. Who are you playing in the next round? Well, we're at the FA Cup, aren't we? So, at the end of the day, we need strength, we need new players. And the problem is, Darren Fletcher should have been put in this position again. It's taken nearly 2 weeks for them to sack Ruben Amorim. It was 2 weeks ago that we sacked Ruben Amorim, and they think it was a good idea putting Darren Fletcher in interim charge. Like, for Burnley, apparently he made a positive impact. Apparently they were really impressed with Darren Fletcher after Burnley. After one game, how can you be impressed? We had 30 chances on that Burnley goal and we still didn't win. How can you be impressed by what Darren Fletcher's done? What has Darren Fletcher done after one game? Like, someone please quote me what we did after one fucking game of football with Darren Fletcher at the wheel. Like, what did we do? Just come on to every United stream to wish them luck in their relegation battle. Need new players. How many have had in the last 2 seasons? Let's focus on the right problem, not the players, not the manager, the ones pulling the strings. Didn't work after the last 2 games. Doesn't work, hasn't worked for previous bosses. It was Monday just gone, he got sacked. Is there any point bringing in Ollie or Carrot? They won't change much. Darren Fletcher isn't the issue here. Only sacked a week ago, said Oscar. I don't want Darren Fletcher in charge. Like, if you're going to sack Amorim, there should have been a plan to bring an elite manager in. There should have been a plan right from the minute go. As soon as you sack your manager, go and get the best elite manager you can go and get. I don't care how much it's going to cost this club. This club have got money, so go and get the best manager available to bring in now. And Oscar predicts I predict a total collapse. Fletcher couldn't run a bath, says Dave. 100%, but I feel bad for him being sent off on his FA Cup debut. Was a silly thing to do. What did he expect? Ugarte is rubbish. They didn't want to sack him. They sacked Amorim because he called the board out. They sacked Darren because he told the truth. He was honest. He wanted signings and they weren't going to back him. So it was either back him or sack him. But to put Darren Fletcher in this position 2 games in a row, I think's a joke. Like, Darren Fletcher as a coach has proved after 2 games he ain't good enough. And even if you bring Ollie in, even you bring in Carrick, what's that going to prove? Like, what's that going to prove? If you bring in Solskjaer and Carrick, what's that going to prove? Someone please tell me what's going to change with those 2 muppets. Because Ollie was sacked because the players turned on him. They sacked Ollie and had to pay him 10 million out of the club. I'd rather them stay with Fletcher. Relegation so Glazers sell. Even relegation won't solve this. Relegation wouldn't sell. If we got relegated, the Glazers aren't going anywhere. Nor are the board, nor are Ineos. They ain't going to go anywhere. Bring Ronaldo in as a manager. I don't think Ronaldo would come anywhere near managing this club. Great players do not make great managers. That's been proved quite a lot in the last couple of weeks. It's embarrassing. Like, to go out in the 3rd round of the FA Cup is embarrassing. And thank you for the follow. Are you going to watch El Clasico? I've got better things to do than watching El Clasico, to be fair. I would rather watch paint dry over a pointless game that means fuck all in terms of both clubs. Even though there's that rivalry, I don't give a shit about Barcelona. And I really don't give a shit about Real Madrid. They're playing in a pointless trophy that means fuck all, to be honest. My blood was boiling when that bold prick sent Lacey off. It wasn't even a foul to begin with. Frank Lampard's doing a good job for Coventry. Lacey shouldn't have been sent off. It's just embarrassing because our only avenue into Europe has gone. If we went all the way and won the FA Cup, we would have European football next season. That opportunity's now gone. The season is going to totally collapse now. I predict everybody in that football club is now going to down tools. Everyone in that club is basically now just going to give up. That's the problem. Everybody is just going to give up now because the standards after this are just going to be on the floor because there's no coming back. There's no rescue plan and there's no ambition to get this club back to where it needs to be. And they're planning this major protest against Fulham. That's going to do nothing. Fans should not be going to games. Tear up your season tickets. Fucking cancel them. Bleed the club dry and hit the Glazers and Ineos where it hurts them the most. And there is too many yes men. Completely agree. There is too many yes men at this football club. It's embarrassing. They've put Fletcher in charge so it can take all the blame off the Glazers and Ineos. That's where the blame's going to be lied tonight. The blame is going to be lied with Fletcher because we've been knocked out by Brighton out of the cup, but by his management. That's where all the blame's going to go. I'm not blaming Darren Fletcher for this. He shouldn't even be interim manager. Man United should have gone and got an elite manager in the first place. They should have gone and got an elite manager in the first place. I am blaming the owners. The owners, Sir Jim, Omar Barada, Jason Wilcox, they're all to blame for this. They're all to blame for this situation we now find ourselves in. The Glazers have taken 1 point out of our money and given it to the Buccaneers. There's 2 minutes. All the Amaranth Outers happy now, says Earl. You'll be embarrassing for a while longer yet, lad. You're not wrong, Marcus. You're not wrong. I think Ruben didn't want that job. That's why he's gone. Who's right for the job, says Hood's Finest. City are going to smash you next week. Fletcher made some silly subs. With the players we have, we should have walked all over them. Delo out. Throw the money to Villa for Emery. Worst to come, trust me, I'm not joking. Ollie until summer and then Tuchel after summer. Please smash that like button. Please give me a follow on TikTok. It's just embarrassing. Like, the blame here is on the Glazers and on Ineos. They shouldn't have sacked Amorim. Amorim told the truth. Amorim called out the honesty that we've all been wanting. The Glazers and Ineos do not give a shit. He wanted players and the club said no. But looking at that team, can you see why he wanted Semenyo? Can you see why we need midfield? Because the midfield is getting walked through every fucking week. You've got Agate who just ball watches and doesn't track Danny Welbeck's run. And he allows Welbeck to carry on with his run into our box. And he smashes in the ball top bins. It's embarrassing. You've lost your mind if you're saying Amorim should have stayed. Amorim wasn't backed, mate. Amorim didn't even get one proper transfer window. He should have been backed in January. He should have been given players this month to add to the team to help it be better. And the club said no. The club didn't want to back him. The club didn't want to do it. Robbo says Deloney needs to go and no midfield is the problem. Sign Elliot answered. Wilcox wants to be manager too much. Pushing out managers like Aaron when we were improving. Ten Hag stays in the cup longer than Man U. You're not right. A teabag stays in the cup longer than Man U. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It's just an absolute shit show. Because I don't think we're going to get European football now. I really, and Ollie says glazed out, completely agree. There's no avenue into Europe now. You can't just blame the manager, it's the players. I do agree, Callum, the players are massively to blame as well, because a lot of those players have given up. A lot of those players have given up. A lot of them ain't fucking good enough. I'm Ineos out. I'm Glazers out. I want these owners gone. But doing protests is not going to do nothing. Because those fans are still going into games after and watching this pile of shit. Could you imagine what City are going to do to us next weekend? Could you imagine what Arsenal are going to do to us week after? We're going to get absolutely torn apart. And if I'm any United fan, don't go to the game next week. Don't go to the Arsenal game. Shit show, can't blame manager, is 100% the players. They're going to batter us. Exactly. We're going to get absolutely torn apart. This is only going to get worse. And the problem is everyone's just going to give up now. Because the FA Cup's gone, everybody will just give up now. Or it might spur them on, thinking, do you know what? We're all out. We're out of all the cup competitions. Let's try and work hard to go and rescue the league situation. That isn't going to do nothing. We can't rescue the league situation. We're not even in the European spots. Even Brentford are above us. Do you know how embarrassing that is? A club like Brentford, who we basically took their best player off them, and Brentford are now above us. And it's the same for Newcastle. They lost their best player in Isak, and now above United in the league. It's massively, massively embarrassing. And especially when you've got a Brighton team that have come to Old Trafford, not won in 8 games, have put their second team out, and they've still battered us. Like, how stupid must that look? How stupid does that make Darren Fletcher look like? And I'm not blaming Fletcher. He did pick that team. He did pick those players. But at the end of the day, I think we needed reality. He should have not even been given the interim manager's job in the first place. He shouldn't have been given it because it's not his fault. All the blame he will get will be on him. But it's not his fault that we're out the cup. The starting 11 is basically predictable. The only change we made was put Dorgu in at left back because apparently Luke Shaw's rested. More like Luke Shaw's injured again. And the only situation I didn't agree with was Shea Lacey not starting. That was the only situation I was not happy. And probably Delo at right back, who squandered 2 massive opportunities in the first 3 minutes. And Man United could have been home and host. We could have been in the 4th round of the FA Cup inside 3 minutes if Delo scores those chances. If Delo scores both of those goals, we're talking about a completely different game. We would be in the 4th round draw tomorrow. Do you know how embarrassing that's going to look from a football perspective that we're not in it? Spurs are out. Arsenal are still in. Chelsea are still in. Man City are still in. You're going to have to absolutely hope on hope now all them go out, because we are going to look completely stupid if all them are still in come the semi-finals or the final and we're nowhere near it, because we're out and we do deserve to be out. We do deserve to be out because we are shit. We did not turn up. The players look like they didn't give a fuck today, and that's the worrying thing. Maybe some of the players are pissed off Amrim's gone. Maybe some of the players are looking at this thinking, so the project we were brought into has been scrapped 14 months after he was appointed as manager. Maybe some of the players still wanted Amram in. Maybe some of the players are thinking, you've put Darren Fletcher in charge where we could do with an elite manager. But apparently the players have now got a right to say what manager they want. I'm sorry, after these last 2 games, these players should not be given any form of who do you want as your manager? Who would you like? Who would you want managing you week in, week out? These players should not have a right or a say anymore in any of this club situation. I don't want these players' mouths anywhere near on who the next manager should be or who the interim should be. I don't want these players involved because those players didn't turn up today. You've got 75,000 fans at Old Trafford who've been massively, massively embarrassed today by this pile of shit again, who couldn't beat Burnley, who couldn't beat Leeds, who couldn't beat Wolves, who couldn't beat Bournemouth, who couldn't beat Everton, who couldn't beat West Ham, who couldn't beat Brighton. We've nearly gone 7 to 8 games in a row without fucking winning. We've had 1 win in our last 8 to 9 games. 1 win in our last 8, 1 win in our last 9. And I'm sorry, that isn't good enough. That isn't good enough. Bro played 1 game at left back and was finished. Glazer's out, Jim out. Delo couldn't score in a brothel with a £50 note. We probably will beat Man City next week. If my granny had balls, she'd be my granddad. It means nothing. We won't beat City. Why do these players have so much player power? Caesar, remember for us, oh my, oh my. Thank you for the follow. Delo was so bad today, it's shocking. Every player in that team was shocking. I didn't see any improvement after Wolves. I've not seen any improvement after Leeds. I've not seen any improvement today. And I haven't seen any improvement after Burnley. We didn't turn up and we've been outclassed by Brighton's second team. We've been massively outclassed. It's beyond shocking. It's embarrassing for the fan base. It's embarrassing for all of us because we all want to get this club back. We want our club back. But going out the FA Cup, I bet you now, all these players will just down tools. They'll be like, well, what's the point? What's the point turning up? What's the point even showing up now? We're out the cups. We're not going to be in Europe. So what's the point trying? That would be the mentality now for the next few weeks. They won't turn up against City and they won't turn up against Arsenal. We'll get steamrolled more than that fucking steamroller from Thomas the Tank Engine. We played absolutely shocking. We need Xavi, Tuchel, Ollie to save us. So you think it's his fault, smart fan? We need Xavi, Tuchel, Ollie. I don't want Solskjaer being brought back in. I don't want Carrick. I do not want an interim manager at this football club. I don't want an interim. I would rather we go and pay out Tuchel's contract. I would rather we go and pay out Enrique's contract. I do not want an interim running this joint again. Because they sacked Ollie and he was an interim manager and they sacked him 2 seasons after. So what on earth are we doing thinking about bringing him back? They're on about bringing Carrick back, who they then got rid of because he went and got the Middlesbrough job. What are we doing as a football club? Why can't we go and get an elite manager now? Just pay out their contract and bring them in. The manager is not the problem. It's the player's fault. I'm not blaming Fletcher for the Burnley. I'm not blaming Fletcher for tonight. I am not blaming Darren Fletcher. But he shouldn't be in that position in the first place. If I was Darren Fletcher, knowing what he's been through in his personal life, I wouldn't have taken the job in the first place. I wouldn't have took it. I wouldn't have done it. It's the players. When will you lot learn? There is few very elite managers free at the moment. It's the players are bloody awful. Ollie won't fix anything. We need the owners out. I would bring in Emery. People have said that. Try and bring Unai Emery in. Try and bring in Enrique. Try and bring in Tuchel. Try and bring in Nagelsmann. If you've got to pay those contracts out for their managers, just fucking do it. But they have got to be allowed control. They can't just be a coach and not just be a yes man for the Glazers and Ineos. Because if Emery's going to get dictated to, he won't take the job. If Nagelsmann's going to get dictated to, he won't take the job. If you try and bring in Tuchel, he won't be dictated to, he won't take the job. So we're basically fucked anyway. It wouldn't surprise me if they go for like bloody Kieran McKenna, or they give Ollie or Carrick the permanent manager's job. It will go all right for a while, but one defeat and everything will crumble, and then they'll sack him. Dalot is so bad. Sesko's not knowing what being on side doesn't help. I don't know why people are pinpointing fingers at Sesko. At least he got on the score sheet. At least he scored a goal. What do you lot expect? There's no fucking service. There's no service to Sesko again. The only one that did anything to get him a goal was from a set piece, from a corner. Like, whoopee. I don't know why people are pinpointing at Sesko. It's not Sesko's fault we're in this position. If he had service, we'd be scoring goals for fun. He's had 3 goals in his last 2 games. Give Sesko a break. At least he's contributing. At least he does something. Lacey looked good coming on. Looked like the only player who wanted it. I want Zinedine Zidane in, but it just won't happen. Dalot, Agate, Casemiro, Yoro need to go. Completely agree. Agate, Dalot, Dorgu, utter tripe. The midfield says Jack H. Sesko 3 goals in 2 matches. He was offside like 5 times, says D. Bruno needs to be feeding Beto. Sesko is not the issue. We need a leader line like Vidic-esque player. Dorgu, Dalot, Agate just bloody awful. Someone to try to organise us. The 2 players that made opportunities came on too late. What about Dalot? Why is nobody saying anything? What the fuck? We beat Burnley and Brighton with Amorim, by the way. Even our development players could do better. Yeah, our development players could do better. Do you know what I would do? I would rather play the kids for the rest of the season. I would rather play the kids for the rest of the season. I wouldn't put any of those first team tripes anywhere near the rest of this season. I wouldn't bother. I actually wouldn't bother picking any of the first team for any of the rest of the season now. I wouldn't bother. The season's over. We're not going to rescue anything now. We can't even win a trophy. That's 2 seasons in a row without any trophies. That's 2 seasons in a row without any silverware. It is embarrassing. And we couldn't even put JJ Gabriel in the team because Fletcher didn't want to. And do you know what? In hindsight, I don't blame Darren Fletcher for that. Because I think putting a 15-year-old on in that situation would have been unfair. I feel sorry for Shea Lacey. Yes, he's been idiotic. But again, I don't think that was even a foul. I don't think that was even worth a second yellow card. And I don't think he should have been sent off. And I actually feel sorry for him. But he should have started the game. He should have started. And that's what angered me. Because there was a better option in him being put on the right with Sesko down the middle and then Kuna on the left. That would have been a lot more sensible. But we ignored that. And I don't know why we did what we did. Dalot was terrible on the pitch. He should have given us the early lead. Exactly. I do put a lot of blame on Dalot for this, though. I do put a lot of blame on Dalot. Please smash that like button. Please give me a follow. Why would you put a fitter on in a toxic environment? Completely agree with Jack H. Kuna as well. Gosh. He got the second over for slamming the ball. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Thank you for the back-to-back follows. Build him in from the subs bench. Yeah, that's a very good idea. Build JJ Gabriel in for the sub bench. That's not actually a bad idea. How is Dalot still here? I've been saying that since he fucking arrived. I've been saying that since Dalot arrived. What the fuck is he still doing here? If, like he said, a lot of blame has got to be put on Dalot. I'm sorry. If Dalot takes those chances, we win this game. How he didn't score the first one, and they're blaming the extra touch. And yeah, the extra touch didn't help him, but he still should have finished it. That still should have gone in. That ain't good enough. Constantly ball watching too. Exactly. Dalot and Shaw in 2026. And Luke Shaw wasn't even in that team. But how better do we look? How better do we look without Luke Shaw? Let's be honest. How much better do we look without Luke Shaw? And we've all been saying it for God knows how many seasons. We look so much better without Shaw in that team. It really shows we need Amad and Mbeumo. But we can't keep using Amad and Mbeumo as an excuse. I know they're better players, but those players who were in that team today still should have won this game. Brighton have not won a game for like 8. They've only like won 1 game in their last 8. And that was against Burnley, funny enough. And they got a point at the Etihad against City. We can't keep a manager the owners sacking. We need to keep a manager and build up. He can't defend, can't score. Delo doing my head in. Short is better than Dorgu. Lol, even with the free midfield, Brighton were able to play a ball through the middle. How do you miss that? How do you miss that bad as well? Exactly. What manager will take over its position? I don't know. The club is now in a full-blown crisis. This football club now is in a full-blown crisis. Going out the FA Cup is a disaster for Darren Fletcher. This was probably an audition to keep him in charge for the interim manager's job till the end of the season. I suspect that the owners, well, I'm not even calling the owners, I'm going to call them the clowns. I expect the clowns that run this football club will now bring in Ollie, or they will bring in Carrick. Don't be surprised if we're sat here tomorrow afternoon reacting to Ollie being back or Carrick being brought in. Don't be surprised, because they'll try and paper the cracks over this result. I just wish we had a plan as soon as we sacked Dameron. We should have had a plan, and there's been no plan. If you're going to sack a manager, surely you had a number 1 option you could go for. Fuck waiting to the World Cup. If you want Nagelsmann, pay out his Germany contract. If you want Tuchel, pay out his Germany contract. If you want Emery, pay out his contract at Villa. If you want Nagelsmann or Enrique, pay out their contracts at PSG or Germany. Pay out their fucking contracts. Because we need a manager who is not going to be dictated to. We have got to bring in a manager who is allowed all guns blazing. We need a manager that's going to be allowed to make as many changes as he wants. He's allowed to get rid of who he wants. He's allowed to bring in who he wants. That is what needs to happen. But they don't want that. The clowns that run this club don't want that. They want a yes man who they can dictate to and who they can play puppets by a string. Surely after today, this football club has got to wake up. We've had no plan since 2013, Sir Rahul. Completely agree. We've been saying it. There's been no plan since 2013. That was horrendous. I hope whoever was Amount is pleased. System was the issue. Manager doesn't mean shit when you've got that midfield and Delo and Yoro spot on. Please smash that like button. Please give him a follow on TikTok. We need Roy Keane. The owners need a set of balls and let him in there. If they brought Roy Keane in, these players would shit a brick. If they brought Roy Keane in, these players would shit themselves. Because Roy Keane would be honest. Roy Keane would go full guns blazing. Who would you take as manager? Logically now, I would like Unai Emery. I would like Enrique. I would like Nagelsmann. I would like Tuchel. I don't want Oliver Glasner, because look what's happened to Palace, especially yesterday. Losing to Macclesfield makes Macclesfield look really good, by the way. Us going up... Do you know even Macclesfield, who are in the National League South, have got further than Man United in the FA Cup? How embarrassing does that make us look? Even Macclesfield are still in the FA Cup. You had a different system and look how bad it was. Exactly. Areola or Tuchel for me. Ollie's at the wheel, says Spud. It's just a disaster. Aaron departed because he had an argument with the director of football. All these names not a hope. Exactly. We've got no hope. There's no way back. It's like a Star Wars film, The New Hope. There is no hope for this club. It's fucking gone. There's no way back now. You can bring in as many managers or coaches as you want. Nothing's going to change as long as the Glazers and Ineos are still around. Nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change. Even after today, the club are going to shit themselves. The club are going to panic. So they're thinking, oh shit. It's been going on too long. Exactly. It has been going on too long. But no one's done anything to sort this situation out. We're not forcing these owners out. And this one protest is going to do nothing against Fulham. One protest is going to do zilch. So good luck who's ever planning this protest. Because your protest is going to come to zilch. It won't do anything. You should see Sir Alex's face after that. Exactly. I feel sorry for Sir Alex Ferguson. I feel sorry for like David Gill. But one comment I did not agree with, and Roy Keane made this comment. He said, hi Toby, how you doing, mate? Roy Keane said Sir Alex Ferguson and David Gill sticking around is like a bad smell. And I thought Roy Keane cares about the club. Roy Keane said, Sir Alex Ferguson and David Gill sticking round is like a bad smell. And it's like, who the fuck do you think you are? You've been saying how bad and how incompetent we are, but yet you want United back to where they want to be, but you're saying that about your former manager and a good director that was actually good for this club, and you're now saying this. Like, make your mind up. I play the youth team for the rest of the season, senior team sharty, filled for Sir Alex Ferguson. No point in going to watch shithousery anyways, exactly. Our season is over and it's only January, says Leo. I know, Leo, completely agree, mate. Sesko out as a Leicester fan. Fergie's partly to blame for the Glazers being there. So who are Amram out as blaming now? He's always had slight digs at Ferguson. United is now the new Leeds. We aren't what we were. It's a new age. Things will brighten up. I see what he did there. Things will brighten up. Very, very good. But it's just embarrassing. Like, United had no get up from go from the minute go. United had no get up and go from the minute one. What's the solution, do you think? Ineos, fuck off. The Glazers sell the club. We bring in rich billionaires who can terminate half these players' contracts like that. We bring in an elite manager with an elite set of players with an elite mentality. But until that happens, we ain't going anywhere. We're basically a train that's grinded to a halt. We're literally that bloody... Did anybody ever watch that Thomas the Tank Engine film? A Great Discovery. Did anybody ever watch that film? Or what it was called? I think it was that. No, it wasn't that film. And you had that big fucking train called Hero. We need a fucking hero. We need a hero. Because that is what it's going to take. We need a hero to come in and basically rescue this club. The managers were never the problem. It's players and the owners. Delo had 2 big chances and had to put them away. Who's an elite manager? But Amram deserved to be sacked. If that midfield was the same as Ten Hag, teams just run through. If it was only that easier. I think key point was because Arsene Wenger's given Arsenal space to go in their own direction. Delo had 2 big chances and had to put them away. What do you expect when you have a Garte in midfield who's an elite manager? Elite manager, Unai Emery. Elite manager, Unai Emery. Elite manager, Nagelsmann. Elite manager, Tuchel. That's what we need. We need one of those 4. We need one of those 4 managers brought in. You lot have got City and then Arsenal next. Don't get me started, mate. Sebstar99. Don't even get me started, mate. I'm dreading it. I don't know where we go from here. I mean, look at the Brighton first goal. We clear it off the line, but Martinez's block falls straight to that Brighton player. And I can't believe no one saw that other Brighton player literally waiting to slam the ball in from the rebound. I honestly couldn't believe any United player could not see that Brighton player in that amount of space. It's fucking unbelievable. We did so well to keep out the first shot and the fucking block just falls straight to their player. And it's like, I can't believe how many United players were in our own box and not one of them decided to actually man-mark their player. It's so fucking embarrassing how our players cannot defend inside their own box. It's embarrassing. But if you don't laugh, you'll cry. We need a miracle, says Stephen. It would be a tickle for United to beat City and then draw to Arsenal, though, says Jack. You're not wrong, Jack. Look, man, every league winner had someone to carry the Liverpool salad. Play the youth team, says Stephen. I would do that. I would just put the youth team out. The Amram outers can't blame the management now. The management are to blame, though, mate. The management are to blame. They shouldn't have put Darren Fletcher in charge. They shouldn't have given Darren Fletcher the interim manager's job in the first place. That was on Berardo. That was on Wilcox. And yet none of them are at the game. Did anybody notice how none of them were at the game today? What, were they scared? Were they scared they were going to get a battering by all the United fans and get beaten up? 8 players need to be out to low number 1. Yeah, you need a player to carry Liverpool. I had no sign United need that player to carry. I mean, Shaylace was the only one with passion on the bloody pitch. Was never to blame. It's the board and the players. None of them in the elite managers won't accept being a coach. They won't be puppets. Should have kept Dameron until the end of the season. Do you know what, King? You're probably right. We probably should have just kept Dameron and waited till the end of the season to see what he could have actually done. But he didn't get given that chance. Those fucking muppets sacked him. So we're in this position now. We're basically fucked. After today, we're fucked. Because we've got nothing to fight for. We've got nothing to play for. So what's the point? What is the point? They should have backed him in January and listened to him wanting players. And again, I don't see any elite manager coming to this club knowing the situation in that boardroom. No one's going to come anywhere near this club. If I was Emery, I would say no. If I was Tuchel, I would tell him to fuck off. If I was Nagelsmann, I would tell him to jog on. If I was, any elite manager that's been offered this job, just stay away. Just stay away. Don't do it. Literally don't do it. Thank you for the roses, Kieran. Very much appreciated, mate. That's what I'm saying. No one's going to come. As a Man United fan, I hope we go on a massive downfall. I just feel sorry for Fletcher. I feel massively for Fletcher tonight. He must be severely embarrassed about the situation we're in. Because as he's in charge, he's going to get all the blame. There was only 2 issues I had with that team. Was Shea Lacey not starting the game. And maybe, Aiden Heaven not starting either inside the back 4. That was the only issues I had with that team. And again, the midfield as well. Because the midfield just gets walked through. Look at the second Brighton goal. Agate's just ball watching. He's not even tracking his man. And he just lets Danny Welbeck keep running and running and running and running. He just lets Danny Welbeck run. But what I'm even more annoyed at is Yoro is right by Welbeck in that Brighton situation. And he doesn't even block the shot. He doesn't even put in a tackle. He just lets Danny Welbeck shoot. I honestly thought Yoro would have solved and got Agate out of jail. But Agate's made to be look even more shit by Yoro. Yoro should have done something there to block that Welbeck shot and at least put a tackle in, but he didn't even do anything. Again, in that moment, put a block on the shot, put a tackle in and win the ball back. He didn't even do that, Yoro. He just let Danny Welbeck shoot. You need Adam Wharton. You need someone like Adam Wharton to be honest. 1.2 billion of Iron money now given to the Tampa Buckers. 1.2 billion. Full squad of players not fit to wear the shirt, says Scott. Completely agree. When will Amram outs begin to blame the 4-2-3-1 now? Exactly. We've even gone to the back 4 and look how shit we've got. And people said, even myself, I said the formation was the issue. I said the setup that Amram played was a big problem. But looking at it in hindsight now, you've got to say us going to a back 4 has made things even worse. The midfield gets walked through every fucking game. I can't believe they didn't see it against Burnley. They didn't see it against Leeds and Wolves and Newcastle, Everton, Bournemouth, West Ham. Today against Brighton. Can they not see the midfield's getting walked through? Can they not see that the midfield is more invisible than Casper the Ghost? The midfield is absolutely shocking. There's no creativity. Bruno's miles off the mark today. He doesn't even look fit. Doesn't look interested. Agate just ball watches and lets his man run onwards and onwards and onwards and lets them shoot. And as for Mainu got dragged off. What did Mainu do wrong? I know Mainu's not had many minutes, but what did Mainu do wrong? What did Mainu do wrong? Someone please tell me what Mainu actually did wrong to get dragged off. Honestly, I can't believe Agate... Did Agate play nearly the whole game? Didn't Agate nearly But what did he do? Exactly. You are right. Matty makes a good point. What did Mainu do? You're very, very right. You're not wrong. What we got to play for now. There ain't nothing to play for. We can't win any trophies. We're out of everything. Honestly, Brighton time wasting wasn't the only problem. We need the interim manager before the derby. Kian, I don't want an interim manager, mate. I don't want interim managers. I want us to go and get a manager now. Fuck, wait until the summer. Just pay out Tuchel's contract. Just pay out Enrique's contract. Just pay out Emery. Pay out Nagelsmann. I don't care. I don't want Carricky and Ollie being brought back into this because this is going to get even worse. Shea Lacey should have been sent off. That game was basically over. Ref should have been booking a few Brighton players first half as well. Disgrace. Delo, Agate, Yorodorga could go all on it. Could go on all isn't good. I think Lacey's going to feel sorry for him. It's so toxic. It is toxic. It's going to get even worse. After today, it's only going to get worse. Us going out of the FA Cup is a fucking disaster. It is a disaster. I mean, the only decent shot we had on goal was the 2 Delo chances in the first half and the Sesko goal in the second half. That is all we did in terms of really threatening that Brighton goal. If Delo takes those chances, I am going to say, if Delo takes those chances, I'm not surprised he's fucked up because Delo's a load of shit. This would have been a different match reaction. We would have been comfortably through to round 4. But even Macclesfield have got further than us. Even Oxford have got further than us. West Ham have got further than us. Even West Brom have got further than us. This is embarrassing. This is massively embarrassing. Could have had a pen as well. The first thing that will happen now is that they'll try someone like Ollie to cover the cracks. Exactly. Don't be surprised tomorrow. We're sat here. I'm surprised we beat them for the first time. And Brighton have never beat Man United in the FA Cup, by the way. Can I just mention that as well? Another record that's gone. Brighton have never beat Man United in the FA Cup. And now look what's happened. So they've never beat us in a cup competition. Now look. This is just this is a massive, massive dark day for this club. This is a dark, dark day. You can't polish a turd even with Pepe wouldn't do anything. Exactly. No matter what coach, what manager, what players, you've got them lot to deal with above you. They're the biggest problem at this club. We will lose the most Premier League titles in the future as well. Exactly. We don't even have the most titles. It's Liverpool. Liverpool are now the greatest team in England. We're shit. Everyone needs to accept it. That could have been pure. I need to ask you what. Who knows if the rest of our Prem will crumble. Exactly. Please smash that like button. Please give me a follow on TikTok. I think the season's just going to crumble now. I think the season's just going to crumble. The season's just going to crumble now. It will be crumbling more than a fucking biscuit. It will just crumble now. The rest of the season, there's no point turning up. There's literally no point turning up now. There's no point even going to games. And I'm seriously saying, if a fan base, don't go and watch these games. Bleed the club dry. Bleed them dry. Don't go and watch them. Morale of players is going to low. Morale of players is gone now. Yeah, exactly. We need a miracle now, or it's over, says Kian. Who would you keep out of these players? I would be getting rid of most of this squad. I would have a massive clear out. Get at least rid of 23. Get at least rid of 23 and bring 23 new players in. I would get rid of 23 and bring 23 new players in. Why didn't you rush the pick? Because I don't actually go to games and put money into the club because they don't fucking deserve it. Like, it's not difficult. I don't watch them because we're shit. And I'm not putting money into that club because it goes straight into the Glazers' back pocket. I'm not completely thick. Like, we need a massive rebuild. We need a massive rebuild. We need a manager who's going to be allowed to do what he wants. Do you realise that? No, it's not impossible. It's not impossible. But United have got too many people who work for that club who are sat on their ass and are fucking lazy to an extreme. We haven't won our last 4 games, 3 of them being relegation-threatened teams. Glazers are evil. We had a massacre under Amarim, but Ball didn't literally give him anything besides attack. Exactly. They didn't rebuild the midfield. They didn't rebuild the defence. The only thing they did was rebuild the attack and sort the goalkeeper out. That's all they've done. But signing 3 or 4 players isn't enough. We need to be signing 8, 9 players in the summer and at least letting 8 or 9 or 10 go. We need an elite summer, and that ain't going to happen if we're not in Europe. Embarrassing, Manu. Please change your Team United to losers. It is impossible, says Ahmed. No, it's not impossible. United have got too many people who are too lazy to get off their ass and do their job. It's laziness. It's not. Can we talk about the 0 signings in January? Exactly. We've not even brought anyone in. We're on the 11th of January and the window's nearly shut. And after this, we won't do anything either. Ineos will never sign that many players, unfortunately, says Sten. Glazer would rather sign some random kid from Ajax who's got a hat-trick for 90 minutes than do a clear-out. Exactly. We're absolutely fucked. This situation we are now in is going to get really toxic. The week we're going to have is going to be awful. It's going to be awful. Chelsea have actually signed 89 players in one window. They actually have done it. Because Chelsea are billionaires, aren't they? So Chelsea have done it, to be fair. Man United... Yeah, the season's over. The season is over. We're out the FA Cup. We've got nothing left to fight for. And we're not winning a trophy. We're not going to have European football again. United are finished. Exactly. We're absolutely finished. There's no way back. There's no hope now. So no matter what we do now, we might as well give Arsenal the points. We might as well give City the points. You might as well just give them the wins now, because we're not going to beat City next weekend. And we certainly ain't going to be going to the Emirates and getting anything either. The season's over. We've been finished for 10 years. Exactly. Actually, we've been finished for 13 years since 2013. It's actually 13 years, not 10. Alex Ferguson must think, what the hell did I retire for? You can give Forrest some as well, says Forrest forever. Exactly. It's just embarrassing. It's massively embarrassing. But I don't know what we do from here. We're at the FA Cup. We deserve to lose this game. No European football now for the second season in a row looks very, very likely. And it's going to be embarrassing for the fan base. Another European season without United in it. Let's be honest, United fan base is full of glory hunters from the golden days, not accustomed to it. I completely disagree. The fan base Ryan is fed up, mate. The fan base is fed up being run badly by owners that don't give a fuck, who don't spend money, who don't invest, who don't back managers, and we keep on sacking them and repeating the cycle. I'm not surprised we lost to Brighton. I'm not surprised. We deserve to be out. That's 2 seasons in a row without a trophy. No European football again. Fletcher's had a bloody nightmare again. Shouldn't have been given the job in the first place. Shouldn't even be in charge of the club. I feel sorry for Fletcher. This isn't his fault. This isn't Darren Fletcher's fault. He's been put in this position because of the incompetence above him. Well done, Omar Barada. Well done, Jason Wilcox, because you've massively, massively fucked our season. Because you sacked a manager that told the truth and wanted some players and wanted to be backed, and you wouldn't do it, and you said no, and then you sacked him. Well done on that, by the way, because you've utterly and truly fucked our season for good. Those 2 Muppets are like Miss Piggy and Kermit the Frog. They are Miss Piggy and Kermit the Frog. Those 2 prats sacked him because he told the truth and was honest. They sacked him, and it's not fair. And now Darren Fletcher's going to get all the blame for this. And it ain't Darren Fletcher's fault. I hope Darren Fletcher walks. And I hope Johnny Evans is following him behind. Because bringing Johnny Evans as an interim coach as well is a joke. Giving Fletcher the job in charge in the first place was a joke as well. We're at the FA Cup. We deserve to be out. The season's over. We've got nothing to fight for. 2 seasons without European football is a high possibility. 2 seasons without a trophy. Where do we go from here? Because we've got City and Arsenal in our next 2. Oh, fucking goody. I cannot wait for next Saturday and then the Sunday after that. City at home and Arsenal away, where we're probably going to get really, really hard anal. We are going to get really hard analed by City and Arsenal in our next 2. If I was the United fan base, get ready, because the onslaught will come next weekend. The onslaught is coming. The onslaught's coming. Because City will tear us a new arsehole, and so will Arsenal. We aren't winning our next 2. So that's going to be Wolves, Leeds, Burnley, Brighton, City, Arsenal. So that'll be 6 games without a win. 6 games without a win. The season's over. There's no point fighting now. We're not going to give player of the match. I think we'll give player of the match to the fans. I think we give player of the match to the supporters. Because they're the ones that deserve it today. This club are fucked up. Fletcher is on his knees. Evans looks embarrassed. Sir Alex Ferguson looks lost. We've got no European football. I'm not giving any player of the match. I think it goes to the fans. It goes to the supporters that attended that bag of shit again today. Bleed the club dry. Tear up your season tickets. Don't attend games. Just don't bother. Because the players are giving up. And that's what's going to happen now. The season will just crash and burn now. We're at the FA Cup, everybody. We've lost 2-0 home to Brighton. Where do we go from here? Watch tomorrow that they give Ollie or Carrot the interim job. Watch tomorrow the big announcement that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has returned to Manchester United's interim manager. I can't not wait for that to go wrong all over again. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Stay safe, be nice, be kind to each other. You're all legends, you're all legendary. See you all on the next one.